You're listening to the Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks. I'm Carlos, and they haven't earned their microphone privileges back yet.
I'm going home. Turn me on, I'm going home.
All right, I turned you back on.
All right, there we go.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear me.
All right, let's do it again. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm William.
And we are the Beans and Dice Podcast. We're a podcast about
How we game.
That's right. And it is Thursday night, live stream call-in show night.
Live, it's Thursday night.
Bam, 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 bam. We need some kind of music, some exciting music to go with
Rip
that.
off Saturday Night Live. It's Thursday Night Live.
So we are here Thursday Night Live. We are, I don't know what we're talking about today, but hopefully talking about what you've been playing. I know we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been playing.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go ahead and get in and open this phone line right now.
Yep. Well, get some calls in here.
Phone number is 813-618-7099. We'll open up this phone line, let you all jump in and talk to us about what you've been up to.
As usual, we've got a few topics that we'll chat about during the show tonight. Hopefully there'll be less of us and more of you. Our goal is always on Thursday nights to have people call in, talk to us about what you've been up to, what you've been playing, what you've been hearing about news, new games, old games, whatever it is. We just want to chat about games. And during this hour-long show, we always prefer to talk about new stuff that we haven't scripted, stuff that you bring up randomly is what we want to hear. So don't hesitate to call. If you got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, light up that phone, our one phone line. And again, as always, I'll preempt by saying we just have the one line. So if you call and somebody else is on, if you're hearing somebody else on the show talking, if you call, you're going to get that busy signal. But either be persistent or if you're listening to the show live, of course, just wait until that person's done. Give it a couple seconds and then you can call in and the phone line should be open.
Or I would say even hit the chat. Like if you're trying to call, like say, hey, I'm still trying to get in.
Yeah. If you're trying to get in and the phone line's busy because somebody's on it,
Sure.
type it in the chat, William. That's a great idea because then we'll know to wait for you.
Yeah.
Especially if we're getting towards the end of the show. We don't mind going long to take phone calls.
All right.
I think last week was a little slow. It was also 4th of July.
Yeah.
So, we got a call coming in. Let's take a peek.
Wait. Oh, I guess I know who it is. Go.
Let's see. Who is this? Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
I'll give you one guess.
Will guessed.
William guessed it.
William guessed.
I can't even see the phone, and I know who it is.
First caller.
Yeah, what's up? It's Mitchell from Louisiana. How you doing?
I was right.
Hey, Mitchell, how are you?
Hey, buddy. How are you doing?
I'm doing well because I feel like I'm winning in the board game battle so far.
Oh, well, you should
Robert
know.
confessed to me.
Oh, no, I told him right. I didn't really confess. I bragged to him that I voted against him. So
Wow.
And he's supposed to be like my heterosexual life partner.
Well, that doesn't mean we can't fight sometimes.
You know what it is?
Here's the problem. You picked a game that has dice.
Yeah.
that was your big problem.
but aren't dice just cubes?
Big cubes with numbers on them and pictures on them. That's not so good. I like my dice plain, small, and wooden, or my cubes plain, small, and wooden. Yeah.
We're moving on to the next topic. Talk to us, Mitchell.
I've been playing a lot of Lost Ruins of Arnack since you guys taught it to me. I'm actually literally mid-game right now, and I took a break to call in. But I know we taled about that before, so I don't want to, rehash
Well, no.
that,
Don't rehash it. But tell me if in these plays, have you figured out a strategy? Right? Because I watched people play it the other night at Armada Games during Blood Bowl night, and we talked and we tried to figure out who was going to win based on the strategies they took, and I was completely wrong again. What have you found is a solid strategy?
I mean, I generally go for killing the monsters, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. I taught my friends, a couple friends the other night, and I went heavy on monsters, and one of them went heavy on the research, and we ended up in a tie. And I don't know if you know this, but the first person to reach the top on the research is the tiebreaker. So she ended up winning. I
don't think we've had a tie.
I don't think we've had a tie. We played a fair amount of that, but I don't think we've tied yet.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty balanced because the thing is, whenever I'm going heavy on monsters, I get an average of 5 monsters a game. That's 25 points. The highest point you can get on research is 23. That's basically the same. So for monsters, you're paying resources to flip them over and to beat them, but you're also gaining their boons and things. Right. On research, you're paying to move up, but you're also getting those benefits. So they both have a give and take. They both give roughly the same amount of points. So I think, either way you go, as long as you hit it hard, I think you're okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Or can be okay.
I know. Yeah, William likes to talk to us about when we played the first time with him. He went heavy on the monsters, and I know me and I think my daughter were playing in that when we were both heavy on the research, and so we were competing going up the research track. But we kind of let Will run away with the monsters, and he beat us pretty handily in that game. So
I'm gonna vote for champions.
Thank you, William. Voting for champions.
That's what I'm doing on my phone right now.
change it. But on Arnak, let me just ask you. I assume you're not soloing in it tonight. Who are you playing with?
Yeah, I'm actually here with Connor, who was on the call with me last week as well. He said he might call a little bit later to bring up his own topic. But
No, we need Connor to tell us what really happened.
Yeah. The real result of the game.
With this game, after the game, tell him, if you beat me or if I'm going to lie about it.
Yeah.
Well, he's here because we just got through our second campaign of Oath. It's the 3 players. My buddy Doug had to leave, but I know we talked about that last week as well. It's just Thursday's been our day. And so I think we talked a little bit, whoever wins gets to pick the goal for the next game.
Yep.
And so we had a completely different goal this time, and the game was completely different.
Yeah.
I ended up winning this one, we randomized who starts off as the Chancellor, and both times the Chancellor has won. So we were talking about that after the game. We're not sure if it's just the Chancellor's OP or if the problem is other people were focusing too much on their own victory conditions and not enough on stopping the Chancellors. Because it's kind of like if you don't stop the Chancellors, he wins by default almost.
Yeah.
I heard about something about it can be a kingmaker type of game situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I would need more plays to say that definitively. I mean, 2 times is not a trend, but we'll see from week to week, I guess.
Yeah, it would seem like, with one person being the Chancellor and then them trying to make those alliances to change their outcasts, that they're making them into citizens.
Exiles into citizens.
Exiles. All right, sorry.
Yeah, so we actually had the first citizen in this game. Connor turned himself into it. He stole the scepter from me as the Chancellor, and the scepter lets you turn people into citizens. He turned himself into a citizen,
Nice.
But then I think he regretted it. I don't know if you want to chime in on that, Connor, why you didn't like being a citizen.
So I think being a citizen has its benefits and its downsides. In a 3-player game, I think it's a huge downside because so when you become a citizen, you basically share pieces with the Chancellor, and so you're essentially kind of working for him and with him.
Yep.
Until you get to the end game. The main problem was because we shared pieces, it was a big struggle of trying to figure out when to use warbands and when not to. But also another thing about giving citizenship away was there's relics that cover different powers for the Chancellor. My original understanding was that I would get those powers since I held the scepter, but I was completely wrong. So that made
he gave himself citizenship, which gave me a power as well. So yeah, you should have stolen my scepter, man.
Well, I was trying to win.
There you go. Yeah.
Let me ask a question on that. You talked about the sharing of the pieces, and you talked about the war bands. Would it be oversimplistic to say, does it give you the feels of like 878 Vikings, or with sharing units in war?
So no. Also on 878 Vikings, which I did play last week for the first time, I hate it. I don't like it. But to be fair, I'm not a fan of that type of game. The military, similar to like Axis and Allies, those kind of games. I was never a fan of.
Okay.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, it's not like 878 at all. In my opinion, it's not like there are 2 different color pieces. All of his pieces turn to my color, and it's like I still control them. But if he happens to be if he has someone on his board, he has a little bit of control. So it's kind of more a subservient kind of relationship, which is fine for me.
But and also another thing is that since we share the same pieces, so there's a mechanic where you can play cards to different areas on the board, and if you rule that board with your warband, you can possibly get abilities for when you're trying to conquer other places. And so because we were allies, technically, we also shared that space and, was able to use the same cards.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to it. I think it definitely benefits the Chancellor more than it benefited you as a citizen.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool, interesting, because I like hearing more development on that one. I know that one's got some reviews that are kind of in that not too sure realm, so I'll keep calling and keep telling us how it's developing. Is it getting fun? Is it staying fun?
Well, Connor said about 5 times during that game, "I hate this game." I don't know if it was ironic.
It was ironic. The game's fun by all means, and it was just like when you're constantly getting bashed down because you don't know how to exactly rise on the top, you just automatically hate the game.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, the mechanics are a little bit of a struggle to get down, but then the strategy is like there's so many levels to it. Like each time we would be trying to plan, whenever it wasn't our turn, but so much would change, even with 3 players. By the time it got back to us, that all of us, the previous player would finish their turn, and then we would say, "Okay, now I have no idea what to do." So figuring out how to do well at it is tough, but that's the fun struggle of it. We probably spent only about an hour in the first 4 rounds. We were like, "Wow, this is going to be a quick game." But in the last 4 rounds, like each of our turns took so much longer just because we were considering all of our options, and there was a lot of table talk. Like, "Hey, Connor, if you don't do this, Doug's going to win this round." And so then we bring down Doug, and Doug's like, "Oh, whoa, Doug, if you don't do this right now, Connor Mitchell's going to win this round."
Bucket of crabs.
There's a lot of yeah, exactly.
Louisiana
exactly
crabs,
and
though.
that's the fun part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not for another.
Is it coming back to the table? Are you guys going to keep digging through that? Is it worth digging through it, or is it just move on to a much more fun, faster game? What are you going to do?
Yeah, we have plans for for no in particular. I don't know how long this is going to last, but every Thursday we said we'd get together and play it. That was kind of what we agreed before we started it. We wanted to have the same group. You could drop and add players, but really it's built to stay the same because it has those elements of legacy. You're not writing on the board or anything like that, but you're determining how the next game starts and the goal of the next game based on the previous game. So it's better if you have everybody the same.
Sure. Yeah.
Great report. I'm still curious about this one. It's not something I would want to play. I don't think I'd be into it, but I like hearing the development of it. And it's not legacy, so there's nothing you're going to spoil.
I guess that's true. Yeah, it's not like it could be spoilers.
The only legacy mechanic is the fact that the game the goal could change. That's about
the goal and the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. One other game before I let you go. I know I'm already pushing 10 minutes here. I played a new game this week. Have you guys played Honey Buzz?
Oh yeah,
Robert has.
Yeah.
It makes me want to.
Did you like it, Robert?
I did. I know we had a little bit of a chat on the I think it was on the Facebook
on the group,
or on the group chat. Yeah, that you weren't as big a fan. I've only played it once, but I did want to play it again immediately after I was done. And I will preempt. I know you said that there was some puzzly aspect of it that you weren't crazy about. I do not like puzzle games. I did not like Calico. I could go down a list of popular puzzle games that I don't like.
What about Patchwork?
Patchwork's okay. Yeah, it's
good.
not bad.
Best game ever.
I'm noticing a trend. You don't like games that look cute.
I don't mind the 2-player head-to-head.
Okay.
That's not as bad, but yeah, that puzzly thing. But anyway, in Honey Buzz, I love the components. I mean, the components are awesome in that game. They got the little squishies for the honey and some of the different components that are in it. Really cool. There is a aspect of the game that is puzzly. As you're acquiring these pieces of your comb, you're having to put them down to complete different patterns, and depending on how you complete the pattern and close it in, it gives you a bonus, a one-time bonus of something. I like worker placement, which the main component of the game, the main mechanic of the game is worker placement to do the different actions. So I like the variety part of that. It's been a little while since I've played. It was probably about 6 or 7 months ago. It was shortly after it came out. It is a fairly new game, but I did like it. But tell us why you weren't so crazy about it.
So there are some things I like. Like you said, the components are great, the theme is great, and the worker placement is different. So a worker's placement spot is never used up. You can always go there. You just have to place one more worker than the person that has the most, which is cool because there are only 6 spaces. Otherwise, it would be extremely tight. What I don't like is you can only do an action if you complete a part of your puzzle. So you're trying to create a honeycomb, and you're trying to basically make a hole in the honeycomb to fill up with honey.
Right.
And whenever you complete a hole, you do all the actions on the tiles surrounding it. But the tiles they're 2 hexes. And so based on like the color of the side is what kind of honey can develop there. And it's just, I literally, my other friends that were playing it with me, I was like, I don't think there's a way that I can complete one of these holes this turn. And they were like, there's one right there. You're horrible at this. I just couldn't visualize it.
Oh, yeah.
Something in my brain didn't work. And so it's a cool mechanic, but not something that I enjoy. But I think people who are a little bit more visual and tactile would really like it.
It could be, yeah. Again, I have problems with patterns as well, and that's, again, one of the main reasons I didn't like Calico is that trying to get the exact right piece so that you complete this pattern over here, which matches up with this pattern over here, and then helps you start the next pattern. I don't like that part of it, having to be so precise and so exact. And I agree with you on that aspect of Honey Buzz. Again, Honey Buzz has enough other things going on that I really liked, but I was the same as you. We got near the end of the game, and I realized that I couldn't, the way I built my comb, I could never complete part of it. There was no piece out there that I was going to be able to get to put in there, which I was thinking that somehow I did the math wrong or did the pattern wrong, that if I was waiting for the one piece that was going to complete like 3 pieces of it all in one shot, and then we determined, I called everybody else over to take a look, and I was like, I don't think I can do this, can I? And everybody was laughing at me like, no, you screwed it up. You'll never be able to do that. So I was waiting for that one moment to drop that one piece to be like, bam, completed 3 of them, and it just was impossible at that point. So
I could definitely see that. It's like once you've screwed up, you're kind of screwed up for the whole game.
Yeah.
With the honey.
Yeah.
That's very unforgiving for a game that looks so cute.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it was definitely different than I expected. But anyway, we're on a cliffhanger in Arnak. I'm on a monster that I don't think I can defeat, so I think I'm getting some fear. So
Go get your fear card, and we'll catch you on the next one. Report back with some more Oath for next week. We want to hear it.
Yeah. And hey, everybody watching, go to Board Game Battles and vote for me, not Carlos.
No.
There you go.
Champions of Midgard. It's in the name.
Blood Rage.
Champions.
Blood
it's
Rage.
in the name of the game. See you, homie.
Thanks, Mitchell.
All right.
That was Mitchell from New Iberia, Louisiana. Phone line is open, 813-618-7099. Give us a ring. Tell us what you've been playing. Mitchell has been playing more Lost Ruins of Arnack, which mad props. Some more Oath, which I'm excited to hear about, but maybe not play.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I think it was the Shut Up and Sit Down review that really got me thinking, wow, I don't know how this game's going to fare out.
Seems like there's a lot going on, and you gotta be dedicated if you're gonna start it.
Which is what they said.
Yeah.
What they said is if you're gonna, there's no gray area. It is you're gonna like it or you're not, and you won't know that until a couple playthroughs in. That's the problem. They said that you will not know that until you get a couple playthroughs.
That's a lot of work to put into a game.
Right. But people are
Lost
dedicated.
Ruin of Arnack. There were people playing it. There was a group playing it, led by a guy named Tom over at Armada Games. So Tom was playing Armada. Look at the shirt. Oh, Armada Games. Got the shirt on.
Yeah.
During my Blood Bowl match, they were over there playing, so I just kept peeking back there to look to see what they were doing. They were right at the table behind us.
Yeah.
And towards the end of the game, I went over there to watch the end game because I wanted to see who did what, right, what paths they went, and to see who would win. And one of the ladies at the table had gone full monster, like like 6 or something monsters defeated, right? So she's got all those idols on her player board, right? The whole top rank is full, and the whole stack of idols below that she's captured, and then she's got all those monsters on the board and some research tokens. So she made it to the top of the research track, and I'm like, guaranteed she's gonna win. Yeah. I called it, guaranteed. I was wrong.
Really?
Yeah, the player to her left, who did mostly research and deck building.
Deck building? Yeah, that had to be
heavy
the other
deck
thing.
building and research, beat her out by, I think it was like 7 to 10 points.
Wow.
So she had like 79, and he was in the 80 something. So it again tells me how much I don't know about Lost Ruins of Arnack.
Yeah.
Which is that? Would you call that something that makes it a good game? The fact that you can't easily tell meta how to beat it.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds like it's really well balanced, so there's something to be said for that. On the flip side of that, if a game is too well balanced and you can do pretty much anything and do well, I don't know. Because it seems like we've seen different paths to victory win that game. So I don't know. I don't know if that's good or bad. Yeah.
Guess we got to play more of it.
Yeah, we'll try it. Yeah. I'm just looking here. It's number 6, it looks like, on the hotness list right now on BGG. So doing pretty well. Yeah, Lost Ruins of Arnack. It was, I know the last week show it was like 2 or 3, so it's dropped down a little bit. And then I know my game Dune moved up because it was about 6 or 7 last week, and now it's number 2. So
I think the announcement of the expansion for that has brought it up. And I was hoping the announcement for Arnak would bring up more hotness to it.
Well, a little bit. I mean, they're both in the top 10, so they're both really good games.
I'm looking forward to that expansion for Arnak. The it's gonna be like a leader style expansion.
Yep.
Where your player board does different things than other people's player boards, and you get a starting deck that works differently than other people's starting deck. So it's like that asymmetry. I think, and we'll see how that works into the balance of the game.
Yeah, because that's a pretty big thing. Right now, you start out symmetrical. Everybody starts exactly the same. So now adding asymmetry to it will be interesting. Hopefully I'm sure they balanced it well. But it'll
push you to different tracks of the game.
Yeah, it'll set
you
you
might
up.
have someone that's more of an explorer versus someone that's more of a researcher.
Yeah.
Versus someone who's more of an adventurer.
Sure.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay, so I guess we'll talk and chat a little bit while we wait for the phone.
Phone lines open.
813-618-7099 is the phone number. I'm Carlos, he's Rob, and that's William. We're here waiting for you to call to tell us about what games you've been playing. Share with your friends. Let them know we're live. Let them know we're looking to talk to somebody about board games, and we're hoping it's you. We're hoping you can fill that void in my heart. I want to talk about board games.
That's a bit much.
I have an ice box where my heart used to be.
Yeah.
This weekend I went to the beach for 4th of July weekend. I think that's part of probably why things are a little bit slower these last 2 weeks. The 4th of July holiday ended up right on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So some people were off last week. Some people are off this week doing vacation stuff, family stuff. So I'm assuming we're going to say that's what impacted our call volume.
Yeah, my family went out of town, was gone all week. So, I think a lot of people were traveling, especially now that the pandemic has lightened up quite a bit. I think people were itching to travel, get out and do stuff, and this is one of the first big opportunities people have had, a good reason to get out and go visit family or do whatever. So, yeah.
So that's a good question. Do you think that's going to make it to where people are going to want to play board games, stay back inside, play board games, maybe want to go out more?
At least until fall, winter, and then we can count on our northern brethren.
Yeah, locking down and going inside.
The winter's going to lock them down anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could deal with snow, because I would love to live in a northern state where, like, there's nothing better to do than play board games.
Been there, done that.
But then no one can go to your house. They'll be trapped.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was snowed in. I've been snowed into several houses for a couple days at a time, so, yeah, I know how that is, yeah.
You two, Rob walking through the snow flurries, making his way to game day.
You know, back in my day, when I was 10, we walked 40 miles to
both
get to
ways.
Carlos's house to play board games.
We live in Florida.
Yeah, no shoes.
Let's open this bad boy up. We got Terraforming Mars. Ares Expedition has come in, and I think we'll just play around with these components, waiting for y'all to call. We'll show off what we found here.
And that's just came in yesterday. I think Nick got it, although I know it started delivering a couple of days ago. I started seeing pictures of it online, the Kickstarter.
That new box smells strong.
Yeah.
Isn't it nice? I love the smell of ink in the morning.
Yep.
That fresh ink smells like opening a pack of magic cards.
Why has no one made a car freshener like that?
Yeah, it'd be a good idea. You get into that market. You can corner it.
I have a feeling it's toxic.
Folks, if you do that, I should get royalties for that.
I have a feeling it's toxic. I think the first thing I'm going to notice is there's a quick start rules guide.
Yeah.
And the first thing I'm noticing is
texture.
The material of this is very much Stonemaier Wingspan-esque.
Yeah, it's that textured paper.
That vinyl textured paper. So that's very pretty.
This is a Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. This is the Terraforming Mars Lite that just came out. So for fans of the Terraforming Mars game, this streamlines it from about a 2 to 3 hour game and cuts it down to about an hour, I guess is what I've been
an hour. It says 60 minutes on the box.
Okay, yeah.
1 to 4 players, 14 and over, 60 minutes.
We got a 20-page rule
that's
book.
A lie. We know how bad timers are on boxes. They're always incorrect.
We'll find out. We haven't played it yet. We can't call it a lie.
Yeah, well,
we'll see.
Rule book is 20 pages long, same material as the quick start. So you get that
linen.
Yeah, you get that. You can hear the quality.
Sure.
It is an audio medium.
Yeah.
Call us in because we're just playing with board games. 813-618-7099. Call in. And so it looks like a simply laid out big text font. So not a lot of text blocks, a lot of illustrations in this rule book.
That is interesting. There's a 2-player co-op mode.
Oh, 2-player co-op mode right here, page 18.
Cool.
In this mode, 2 players work together to complete Terraforming Mars. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Kyle from Chicago.
Hello, Kyle from Chicago. Talk to us about what's going on.
Not too much. I go by Mister Jeeves in your chat.
Oh, he's a real person.
Yeah.
We've seen you in the chat plenty.
Thanks for calling in, man.
No problem. I've been holding off on calling in, but I was like, you know what? I got to talk to these guys.
Yeah.
We're glad you did.
Thank you.
Or at least those 2 guys over there.
No.
I don't trust William.
Yeah.
speaking of William, did you play Who Goes There last Saturday?
No, I'm actually going to be hosting this game day Saturday.
Show them. You got the rule book right here.
Yeah, I know the rules pretty well. I'm just, it's always I want to be that rules lawyer saying no, that's not how it works. I read the book like 4 times. No, really, the mechanics of the game are solid. It's just there's a lot of little things in the rules. Basically, as soon as someone gets infected is when the rules change a little bit, and that's the thing I want to know. Make sure I know everything about. Other than that,
and when I play with new players, I usually just go over everything but the infection stuff, and then the moment the first V card goes out, that's usually when I go, okay, everybody stop. Here's what happens with infected people and stuff. Because otherwise, I don't like to overwhelm people.
Sure.
In the very beginning.
And how does that work out? Is that because if it does work out, I might go that route.
Yeah, give us some tips, because I'm going to be playing in that game with William. It's going to be our first game teaching it and playing it. What tips do you have for us as the teachers of the game?
Oh boy, it's go into the game. Think of it just completely as a cooperative game. Like, try to tell people just ignore like the trader mechanic at first. It's going to happen, but let's work together. Let's try to survive, because the game can be kind of punishing, especially with lockouts and stuff like that. And there's a little bit of randomness with the dice rolling and everything.
Dice.
There goes Rob.
Once the V cards go out, then things kind of get crazy with it, and the trust goes out the window.
Was there any aspects of the rules that people struggled with that William should focus on explaining?
I guess I should ask: is it you play the first edition, or do you have the second edition?
I have the second edition.
Okay.
I actually just played it with my wife and my nephew the other weekend.
Oh, okay.
The 3-player game. I think it really shines around 4, personally. I think because you have just enough players for enough paranoia and everything. 3 works good, but I think 4 is like kind of a sweet spot.
Wow, we're doing 6.
If you do more than 4 players, you want to emphasize people to be don't dawdle on their turns, because if they spend too much time dawdling on their turns, the game's going to last a little longer than you probably want it to.
What's your game time length been? Like, I'm trying to plan some games after that. Help me know, how long is this going to take us? 6 players. What do you think?
How many players you get? 6 players? Oof. They're all first-time players, and if people start, because you're crafting weapons and items to use that kind of help you against the elements, and if people sit there and they're kind of like, well, I can do this or I could do that, it's like people really need to pre-think out their turns ahead of time. The game can take, with 6 players, it could easily probably take 3 to 4 hours.
I'm seeing a couple of happy faces over here.
I don't mind. It's him. It's Carlos over there.
Well, because I'm trying to get a game of Scythe in after it. We're doing our game. Kyle, by the way, we're doing our monthly game day this Saturday, and that's when William's going to host. Who Goes There? People online have posted that they're going to join us. I think I invited you to come play, but you said you were busy.
Yeah. I don't know if I can make the flight, get a babysitter, all that.
I think we got pretty good. We don't have any newer gamers playing. We have people who've been playing games for a while. I think quite a few of them play.
That'll definitely help. Yeah.
Quite a few of the players have played more complicated games than this, so I'm thinking that'll work out very well. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty much gonna have to tell Carlos to hurry up, make a decision.
Oh no, I have no problems making quick decisions. I go by my gut, and I got a big gut, so it's easy. What other games have you been into?
I had mentioned in last week's comments how I just picked up Arkham Horror LCG.
That's Robert's
Rob,
world.
You got that, correct?
Yes. I just bought the starter set of that, and I'm getting ready to jump in. Actually, the owner of one of our local game shops, Dan, who owns Your Turn, a board game cafe, they are normally closed on Mondays, and I just talked to him last week, and we decided that on Monday nights when he's closed, we're going to go ahead and meet up at the closed shop, and we're going to start trying to get a couple scenarios in every Monday night. He owns everything that's ever been made, so I bought the starter set with the idea. He had that idea I was going to start buying stuff as I went along. And then he heard I had gotten the starter, and he's been wanting to play it. So he's like, hey, I got everything. He goes, bring your starter set. We'll use your starter. But then from then on, I got it all. So he said he's got a crate of it at home that he actually doesn't even have at the shop just because it's a little unwieldy. But he's going to bring it all up to the shop, and yeah, we're going to start going through it.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how many hundreds of hours of game are in there. It's a lot, but yeah, well, I'm looking forward to jumping into that. So that's what I've been wanting to play for a while. But you said you've started it or no?
Yeah, I just started the core set. I just did the standard campaign that comes in the core set. I did there's 3 scenarios. I did 2 scenarios with a good friend of mine, and I really like it so far. I think it's really interesting. I'm kind of scared to see where it goes because there is so much content to purchase.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is a slippery slope. Here we go.
Yeah.
But it's hard to find, right?
That are super into it.
Is it hard to find the content for this LCG?
Some, they've been releasing stuff for years, and so what I've heard is that there are some of the stuff that came out early that some of it's easy to get, and then some of it was, I guess, I don't know if they printed less of it or if it was more, some of the stories were more popular, but I hear that there are some pretty hard to find sets. Actually, Dan was talking about, he said he didn't have some of the, there were a couple of things he didn't have. They weren't the main stuff, but they were stuff that they released either like at a con promo or something like that. So he said there were a couple of little hard to find things that he was trying to find, but he's got all the mass market stuff, all the main stories and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's something I'm really looking forward to jumping into. And I actually we have another friend in our game group, Nick Oben, who told me that him and his wife recently have joined a competitive league of Arkham Horror LCG.
Competitive?
Yeah, he said that they get together. Yeah, they get together. They all play the same scenario. They sit in different rooms, and it's him and his wife are one team. They've got another couple that are friends of theirs that are another team, and then they go and they show up. And he's like, there are 8 or 9 or 10 teams every night where they show up, but they put them in different rooms, and then they play the scenario, and then they have a scoring system that at the end they come together and score how well each one of them did, and then they rank them each week and give them points, and it's a week-to-week competitive thing. So
that's legit.
I was like, that's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I may have to find out more about that once I get into it.
Because we've done pandemic competitive. Yeah, that's been fun.
Carlos and
I can imagine doing that LCG like that.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, while we have you on the phone, I'm gonna take your time. I'm gonna ask. I want to get you've been active in the boards, you've been active in the chats. I want to know more about your play style. I want to know more about your play style. Some of your favorite games, right? Like your top 3 want to play right now games.
Oh, you guys were doing this last week with the callers, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of put down the spot.
It is your turn.
Carlos likes to do that. Yeah.
You're the show.
Scythe. I played Scythe a long time ago, and I finally just picked up my own copy, and I'm anxious to get that to the table. Scythe is definitely. Oh man, I'm trying to think what else. I really love Concordia.
That is one I have wanted to play for a long time.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I had heard about this game through like Shut Up and Sit Down, and because they raved about it.
Yeah.
And I looked at the theme, and I'm like, that is as dry as you can be. That doesn't I'm a big theme guy. I like Scythe. Who goes there excites me. The theme is rich and it's there. And I look at Concordia and I go, trading on the Mediterranean sounds really boring. My friends decided we would play it on Tabletop Simulator and give it a shot, and I was just enamored with it. I'm like, the mechanics are so smooth. They're so simple, and yet there's so much strategy that you can come up with. And I got so into it. I was like, I just bought it. I saw it on sale, and I picked it up, and I was like, this is a great Euro to have in my collection. I really, really enjoy how it runs.
That's what I've heard. It's one of those games that's fairly easy to learn, but it's incredible to try to master it. All the different possibilities of things you can do, and the different ways you can play it. I haven't played it yet, but it's one I've.
Who's the publisher on this one?
Let me look back and see.
Rio Grande.
Is it Rio Grande?
Do you work for them? Because you did a great job of selling it. Like, I'm not a Euro gamer.
Wait, you haven't played this?
No.
I've actually played something that you haven't.
Oh yeah, you played Concordia?
It is a Euro game. It is a trading in the Mediterranean Union game. It's just not going to fit in my world.
I take it back. It was one of those games where, hey, you want to play it? And I go, no. So we'll just try it. I got talked into it.
Oh yeah.
But no,
then it
the
was
way
good.
the way Kyle described it, I mean, as a theme player myself, I like good games. I mean, I don't care if it's trading minutes today, as long as it's good and not boring. This sounds like it fits in bill.
It's amazing because every player starts with the same hand of cards, and the cards are your actions of what you can do in the game. And everybody's starting off the same, but then there's a market and you can buy more cards to pull into your hand, and you're constantly like, so it starts off, everybody's on the same level, but because of the choices people make, they all of a sudden everybody starts doing very different things. And what I also really love about it is that you don't score until the end of the game. So you have no idea how well you're doing unless you know the game super well.
I like that.
You wouldn't know. And then all of a sudden at the end of the game, you score it. And it's like this exciting, like you're adding up points and people are jumping past each other. And then when you add up the final tallies, whatever, and one person just jumps ahead the person in the lead, and you're like, oh, and it kind of creates this like
a
fun
stand-up moment in a Euro game.
Wow.
That's hard to find.
That is.
Right? I mean, I don't know if it's always going to be like that, but every game so far I've played has kind of an exciting moment at the end where it's just like, oh my gosh, I just couldn't believe I pulled that off. And
Wayne Kruger in the comments agrees with you. He says Concordia is one of the best, ugliest games you can play.
I 100% agree with that. I don't like the look of it whatsoever.
No.
So
William's not a fan of Euros normally, but he said he liked it. So that's saying a lot.
I can't pass up on a good solid game. Although I will never play Puerto Rico.
Oh, that's a different topic, but yeah, Puerto Rico. But cool.
No.
Yeah. Well, you're making me want to play even more. I wanted to play this game. Like
Robert,
I
we
said,
got to get that one
for
the
years,
table.
but yeah, that's when we got to.
One of us has
I'll
to buy
it.
it.
I'll pick it up. Yeah.
You'll get it?
Yeah, I'll get it.
I
Okay.
He's a
definitely
Euro guy.
recommend
He
it.
should pick it up.
Yeah.
I'll pick
There's
I'll
another
pick the
game I
games
wanted to
things.
bring up to you guys.
Yeah, we're here.
I
Calls are slow.
just played on
The Lightning
tabletop
are playing. Lightning have been
simulator.
playing this week. We've got 4th of July week. The calls are slow. Show is yours, brother.
So I just on Kickstarter is a game called Distilled. Have you guys heard of it?
Is it about alcohol?
I've
It's
heard it.
Yeah.
alcohol distilling game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's available on Tabletop Simulator and Tabletopia. And so my buddy had played it with the designer online one time,
Ah.
and he told me about it. And he's like, if you ever want me to show you how to play, let's jump on. So we jumped on 2 nights ago, and we played it. It's a really kind of a neat game. It's kind of a fascinating little card game. You could say sort of reminiscent of viticulture just because they're both alcohol related, but they both play because this one doesn't have worker placement.
Okay.
It's a card game, and you're purchasing ingredients from a market, and you're mixing them together to create different spirits: vodka, moonshine, rum,
I'm in.
whiskey, all that stuff. Well, the fascinating part is so when you go to there's a phase where it's the distilling phase. First is the market phase, and there's the distilling phase. And what you do is you take your cards, and you have to apply at least 1 water, 1 yeast, and 1 type of sugar, whether it be a fruit sugar, a grain sugar, or a plant sugar. And you put at least 1 of each of these cards on the side. There's like this washback section on the side of your player board. And when you're done when you add the cards you want to into that, you take them, you kind of shuffle them together, and you're going to take the top card off and the bottom card off, because apparently when you're distilling liquor, I don't know a lot about the distilling process, but according to the rules, you're taking the head and tail of the alcohol and you're removing it.
Right.
And what happens is you kind of have like a mitigate your luck mechanic in there, because you're basically pulling those 2 things out, and it can affect what kind of alcohol you're making. So like, you're always able to either make moonshine or vodka. So you always have something you can make. So when you pull those cards out, it's not like you're left with nothing sometimes. So you always have something. But it kind of makes an interesting thing, because then later on, like I said, it's mitigate your luck. So basically, if you're really looking to make like rum or something, you might want to add more cards in so that if
Have
you
the
remove
sugar
certain cards
aspect.
that you need, that you're still able to make that alcohol. Then you can store it, and you can even age it, and then it adds flavor cards to it, which can give you more points.
Oh, we can spice
for
that rum.
Yeah, and then it was just kind of fun, because it's totally, you have no idea what flavor cards you're adding. You put them upside down, like at the bottom of the stack while it's in the cellar. And then when you're ready to sell the alcohol, you flip it over, reveal it, and it's kind of fun. You have like different notes of it could be a nutty, whatever. They even have in one of the examples of videos, I didn't see it in the game I played, but they even had one of the flavor cards was like manure. So you could end up with something that's pretty bad.
That's a manure flavor.
But
This one smells like burnt hair and mango chutney.
Yeah, that sounds pretty pretty thematic. I mean, I know a little bit about distilling, and you've got like your double and triple distilled. That's the number of times they run it through. But you're taking off the head and the tails.
Robert and I have done many a brewery tour.
Yeah, some tours and things
together.
Yeah, we've done breweries, and I've done a couple of whiskey places. And
yes, right. You did that rum place. You brought me that rum back.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. So it sounds pretty accurate that the game is mirroring what you actually do. So that's cool.
And I love games where the theme and the mechanics really tie together, and you can kind of learn something, almost feel like you're doing something that you admire. You know, distilling, to me, that's a skill set. It's a beautiful skill set.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fascinating game. I just thought I'd bring that up.
How long did the gameplay take?
Kind of interesting. I don't think it was that long. A tabletop simulator always tends to run longer.
Sure.
Because it's all of, you're trying to move pieces
So
around. And
fiddly.
even doing a simple action. Yeah, it kind of drives me crazy because, I think we spent 3 hours playing it, but I guarantee it would not normally take that long.
It looks like they advertise 30 minutes per player. It says 1 to 4 players, age 14 and up. And, so it's...
Where can I buy that, Robert? Is that a Kickstarter only thing, or it's Kickstarter?
It's currently on Kickstarter. The Kickstarter's going right now. I'm contemplating backing it. I'm kind of back and forth on it. It is a little pricey.
Well, I'm going to see if I can find someone in Tampa to back it.
That's a lot of stuff in their game.
Yeah.
When you say pricey, what do you mean pricey, Kyle?
$85.
Well, for the base game pledge is $55. Then you can get like an upgraded version. It comes with like an expansion and metal coins for the $85.
Okay.
Wayne says he's on the fence on this one. Seems like a deck builder version of Brew Crafters, which is a worker placement
I've never
game.
played Brew Crafters.
Okay.
I
Great
guess
intro
it
to that one.
depends on what kind of mechanics you want.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a lot of these alcohol-themed games or whatever do a lot of worker placement. Viticulture, Brew Crafters. There's another one out there I can't think of the name of. I think they're all worker placement, which I love worker placement, but it was nice to see something just card-based that was pretty interesting.
Kind of tableau style. And
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Kyle, I'm so glad you called in,
Our scores
man.
are pretty close.
So glad you called in.
Yeah.
Thank you for
taking
having
a
me on.
risk.
Great to hear from you. Yeah. Don't be a stranger. I mean, we see you in the chats a lot, but definitely call in. Hopefully we're easy to talk to. We try not to bite too much, but we we appreciate you calling, and anytime any week that you want to talk about something, let us know what you've been up to. Definitely give us a ring.
Nah, brother, that's 18 minutes of content you just gave me. That's beautiful.
It's awesome.
Sorry if I ran on a little long.
Oh, no,
That's what we wanted.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys.
That's exactly what we wanted,
Yeah.
man. We needed it. So thank you.
Have a good night, and we'll talk to you again soon, I hope.
You too.
All right, stay safe.
Thanks, bye.
All right.
Bye.
You too.
Looks pretty interesting game.
That was cool. That was Kyle, Mister Jeeves on the board.
Mr. Jeeves,
for y'all
yeah.
that have seen him in the Facebook group, and you've seen him in the YouTube chats. He comments a lot. He's active.
Yeah.
And that's his first phone call. So
That's cool.
hopefully y'all out there that are in the same boat, maybe you've chatted, maybe you've communicated with us on the Facebooks, but you haven't called in.
Just give us a buzz.
Bite.
Yeah, just give us a buzz. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we control William, though. Phone number 813-618-7099. The phone line is open. We were
Want to jump back to some Aries expedition?
running through some of the Aries expedition, just kind of unboxing it, waiting for people to call in. Wayne had a great point with the Lightning and the 4th of July. So we got the Lightning, what do they call it? World Cup? What is this?
The
Wow.
Stanley Cup,
Stanley.
really? Are
It's
you
a
kidding
cup.
me? Stanley Cup?
I don't know who this Lord
Stanley's
Stanley
Cup,
is.
yeah.
But
The oldest, I think it's the oldest trophy in
it
all
is.
of sports.
It is
yeah.
the
Yeah.
oldest trophy in all of
Been going on
professional team
for all-
sports.
Over 100
actually one of
years,
the-
yeah.
Back-to-back games is what happened. How many times this century?
I don't know, not a whole lot, but
Back-to-back years
back-to-back winners, yeah.
for Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So local Tampa Bay Lightning.
It is, and now we just got to get the Bucks to win again.
Yeah, so the Bucks get that again, and we got to just get the Tampa, the
Rays. They gotta win
yeah.
one.
So
Come
we
on
get
now.
get all three, triple header over here.
And the
triple
Rays are
title.
doing well.
Imagine that marriage sitting in that office. They turn around. She looks
Yeah, I'll see all 3 trophies out
City
there.
of Champions, baby.
Yeah, Champa Bay. Yeah,
Champa Bay.
So Ares Expedition, yeah, let's take a look. So I know you got your hand on one of the player boards here. So the player mats this is the Kickstarter edition. The
Right.
retail version that came out of Target does not have these snazzy 2-layered inset player boards. They're just flat pieces of cardboard on that one. So that's one of the things you by getting on the Kickstarter.
Dual
that you
layer, is that what we call that?
Yep,
dual layer?
layer. Yep. Mhm.
Right. And it's nice because the Terraforming Mars Kickstarter for the big box, that's when they redid the dual layer boards as well.
Mm-hmm.
So those were nice as well. I noticed that inside of here, because
Wayne says it's second team to win twice in the last 20 years.
Okay, second team to do it back-to-back in the last 20 years for
Yeah.
hockey. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Let me see these boards, though. We got some. Let me see if I can share them.
Got a camera angle there.
There we go. This camera. This might work. All right, so it looks like we've got a place for mega credits, kind of offset, so your cube will slide in there,
Yeah.
but kind of get locked in there. Then got a track for what looks like cards. You got a track for your heat, your plants, your steel, your titanium, and then it looks like there's supplies here for credits and heat and plants. And then our standard actions again at the bottom. They do a great job in the original version of providing you the standard actions up front.
This one's streamlined. There's just a handful of standard actions down there. Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah.
William, what about that board? Camera's right over there. Show it.
Not much of a board. It's real tiny.
I think that's the idea, is to make it feel like Terraforming Mars, but not really spend too much. Here, put that thing right
Up
there in front of that camera. There we go. Look at that. It's a tiny little board. Yeah. And I've been hearing on the feedbacks for this one is that's one of the biggest issues is the board is supposed to have a cube for each of us on that terraforming rating track. So imagine 4 cubes trying to fit on this one spot.
Right. Yeah. The score tracker on the outside, those squares could have been a little bigger. So yeah, I definitely have heard that criticism. And then one of the other things I heard is the tiles, the ocean tiles section in the middle. There really is no reason to have a board. It's 8 tiles, and all you're doing is flipping them from one side to the other. So a lot of people have said you can
here's
just
the ocean tiles right here.
You can practically play without the board. You can just, if you just remember how many spaces are on your heat track, how many spaces are on your score track, and
but these tiles are different, Robert. We got some tiles that have plants, some tiles that have credits.
Right. The idea is all you need is the tiles, though. You really don't need the board. All you do is you could just put the tiles in a stack and flip them over one at a time, and you wouldn't even need the board for that. So
where they are on the board really means nothing?
No, absolutely nothing. Yeah, you just lay them out randomly and then flip them randomly. And I know Tom on the Dice Tower, and then we're kidding that everybody tends to take all the outside ones first, and then the 2 in the middle, everybody's struggling at the end to get their fingers in there to flip those without messing up the whole stack of
space in there.
Stack of tiles. Yeah, because they all kind of butt up against each other. So, but yeah, all you do is randomly put them all face down to start out, and then one at a time as you do oceans, you choose one and just flip it over. So
I'm punching these as we're talking.
Yeah.
Waiting for a phone call, 813-618-7099. We did our podcast last week.
Yeah.
Hopefully y'all folks had a chance to watch that. I don't know if you did, put a comment in the board or call us about it.
Yeah.
My hope is that we can deliver to you more content on what we've been doing, what we've been playing, so that then we can then have conversations on Thursday night like we are here to talk about what we've been playing, what you've been playing. So give us a ring, 813-618-7099. These look like greenery tiles. So instead of greenery...
it looks like you might take them as scoring.
Yeah, I think you get them as points every time you build a greenery. You grab a tile and put it in a stack.
Okay, that's why their 5s are there as well.
Yeah. Mm.
And then we've got these tiles here.
Those are your action tiles. So those are the actions you secretly choose each round. You choose an action. Everybody at the table chooses an action, and then you reveal together which actions you chose. You could have rounds where everybody chose the same thing, and you're all just doing that same type of action. If everybody chooses different actions, then you'll get to partake in each one. But each one of them has a bonus. If you're the one who chose it, you get an extra little kicker for choosing that action, and then everybody else gets the bottom part, kind of like TI4, where you've got the...
Well, like Puerto Rico.
Or Puerto Rico, yeah.
That's where it originally came from.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, to start with Puerto Rico. But so whoever chooses it gets a little boost, a little benefit out of it. Might get to do something twice, but everybody at the table gets to do it once. So it kind of keeps everybody engaged, cuts down on the downtime when it's not your turn. So
we've got the terraform or the cubes for the player cubes look very much the same.
Yep.
Translucent colored cubes from Terraforming Mars.
Yep. They're not individually bagged here. I know you were a little disappointed that they didn't come with 200 baggies like the big box.
I was hoping that the gold and the copper and the silver would come
I did
in
not get
individual
that.
bags.
I wish I would have gotten the
big box with the 200 baggies.
well, the metal coins, the metal cubes. I didn't
Oh,
get the metal
yeah.
cubes.
Metal
I should have
cubes.
gotten. I didn't get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No, these look good. These you got your instead of the shiny chrome, which as much as I like the shiny chrome, they started peeling.
They wear, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so they've now made them more of a marbleized plastic. So it's more of a marble plastic versus a metallic chrome.
Okay, yeah, went a little different route this time.
Sizes are still different. So you got the small for the copper, you got a medium for the silver, and then a larger size for the gold.
Cool.
But I think Rob, if right up there, right there, no, a little baggie on the right side of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're getting at. Yeah,
So
I got it.
I think what I'm going to be doing is using my upgraded metal cubes. I got the metal cubes from Top Shelf Gamer through, I think it was Board Game Geek. And it's got the gold, all in metal, nice and heavy.
Yeah, those are the
So-
heavy cubes. Oh, yeah, thump on the
yeah.
table. Yeah.
Bang.
That might be what I put into this pack. And we've got, looks like, comes with dividers.
Oh, yep. So in the box, yep, you can divide the card. They've got little card dividers.
Card dividers, got corporations, phase, and project card dividers.
It seems like they took that from the Kickstarter big box queue because that's what they
They did
had.
the big box?
They
the
did
big
same
box
thing.
comes with these.
Yes, they did. They added that on there.
Cool.
We've got player aids in card form, kind of a tarot size card form, so it's a different size than the basic cards. So it's going to give every player, let's see, 1, 2, yep, we don't have to share.
Oh.
Everybody gets their own.
Woo.
Player aid walks you through resolving the phases as well as end game. And it's that nice linen finish, which is going to be sad when I sleeve them.
Looking to see this plays. It's 1 to 4. What it says about 60 minutes, age 14 and up. So, okay, cool.
This is one of the differences from the Target edition.
The
Storage bins.
Yeah.
Which is funny because guess
Hey.
what? Those are the same storage bins in the Kickstarter for big box.
Exact same ones?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I was looking. I was like, oh look, it's like, did they just take the extra ones and throw them in the box?
Yeah.
I think that's what they did.
Yeah, the Target version doesn't come with a dual layer board. It doesn't come with the
Storage bins?
The storage bins.
Does it
I
come
wonder
with
if
those
comes-
baggies?
I wonder if it comes with
Yeah,
baggies.
extra baggies?
Introduce the mass market.
I'm
to
going to guess
baggies.
yes. If not,
Do you think the mass market's really going to buy this one?
it'll be interesting to see. Being the fact that it's available in Target, a lot of people will buy it. The question is, I think, is whether the mass market non-hobby gamers will play it more than once or will try to learn it. So I guess we'll have to find out when we try to learn it to see how heavy it is, how light it is, how much they've streamlined it.
It's fun if you look at the Amazon reviews for board games,
Yeah,
because people review games on Amazon.
sure. Yeah.
And you can see the gamers that reviewed it, right? You
Yeah.
see them use
Oh, yeah,
words
yeah.
like
Yes.
mechanics
Mm.
and, you're like, oh, that's a gamer.
Yeah.
And then you see like a family review and they're like, this is the most complicated game
Oh,
I've
yeah.
ever tried to
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, that's one thing we
The
never.
rule book was 7 pages long.
We can never forget about as hobby gamers, and I know Tom talks about this on Dice Tower all the time, that we can't overestimate that what becomes simple for us now just because we're familiar with mechanics, we're familiar with symbology in games, we're familiar with so much of that kind of stuff that people who aren't hobby gamers, we may think something's easy and something's light, but if you're not used to seeing those symbols, you're not used to doing that stuff, it really can be more complicated than we think it is. So.
But should mass market gamers just take the nosedive into something like that? No.
No, I can't.
No.
I would not recommend this to.
But sometimes they do. They say, oh, well, it's on Target. It must be simple.
yeah.
But that's the tough part is right. It can really shake them out of the
Yeah, it can be a negative experience.
right, and
Yeah.
then they don't come back.
Yeah.
Right, they could have picked up Unmatched and had a blast, something simple, but they accidentally picked one up that just was a little more on the difficulty side.
Yeah. Well, we'll see again. Until we've played it, I guess we can't speak definitively. We gotta go through the rules and play it ourselves.
What
But
do you think of this card quality and artwork here? I'm passing the cards around, folks.
yeah, the artwork is definitely different. They actually
Oh,
hired an artist this
They
time.
look better.
It's not clip art, so yeah,
It looks a lot better for artwork.
Yeah, some people like it better. Some people have said, it's not that much of a step up. So I think it's
What do they
it's
expect,
nice.
really, though?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to show? So I'm showing something that has, first of all, this technology has never been developed, and they're trying to be somewhat
Yeah.
realistic to some of the science. So some guy's got to come up with a picture of something.
I tell you what, I love the artwork in the original Terraforming Mars, flat out.
Oh yeah, the clip art.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I don't know if you're being
You say-
sarcastic
no,
or not, but I don't.
You say you don't mind it.
I don't love
I
it.
love
but-
it.
Okay, I don't dislike it like a lot of people seem to. But
Do not sleeve
yeah.
these.
Yeah.
Don't. I
No.
just bought. I mean, like I just got
Just bought a
sleeves.
whole,
Look.
whole stack of sleeves.
I got sleeves and
Boo.
sleeves
We-
more sleeves.
We can help you burn those.
No, we're not gonna burn
Melt them
sleeves.
down. No.
But these are quality, man. This
Yeah,
feels good.
They are. They're not a textured linen finish, but they are a thicker, higher quality
They
card.
almost feel like a plastic.
Right,
Yeah.
like they're plastic coated or what?
Yeah, probably plastic coated, like
Hey, who's got Bonacor's number?
a playing card. Yeah, I'll give him a call. Although he's removed from all that now, but I'm sure he knows the answer. But he's retired now.
And the reason I really enjoy the artwork for the original Terraforming Mars clip art style is it reminds me of like your old science textbooks,
Yeah.
right?
I don't, is that a,
I know
that's a
what you're
good
talking
thing?
about, yeah.
A little
Right.
nostalgia.
Well, my mom used to take me to shop for clothes at like the Goodwill and the Salvation Army. That was a big thing for us, right? And I would always sneak over to the book section because there was always be somebody's college books or high school books, and I'm talking like
I thought his first
8-year-old
English was
Carlos,
his first language.
10-year-old. That's how I learned it. Reading, a lot of reading, brother. And I would always ask my mom to buy me one of those science books, and I still remember to this day being a young kid just flipping through these science books.
Look at the pictures.
Right, just looking at the pictures
Yeah.
and just reading the what's the words that go next to a picture? Captions? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, and learning that way, kind of
Yeah.
learning about things that way, and that's what Terraforming Mars reminds me of.
Yeah.
Of just like all the different pictures you would find in a textbook.
Yeah.
I see one thing that I don't like already. Is this? Look at this icon right here.
Where?
Exactly.
What icon?
Yeah. It's. Oh, you're talking about it there. I thought you were talking about the bottom.
That's a
Okay.
terraforming rating icon. That's easy to see.
Right, but but they're all that tiny. And for me, sometimes I struggle with red. That's hard to see. Look at that background.
That deep red.
Look at that background. So maybe that might be one complaint, but that's just,
Evan from DC is asking if we're unboxing the new TM. Yes, Evan, we're just cracking it open, talking about it, waiting for somebody to call.
yeah, why don't you call?
So,
Come on, Evan.
he's a designer of After the Empire.
Oh, cool.
Don't get snippy with
Sweet.
me.
No, I want him to call. Let's go.
Love the front-facing After the Empire. Yes, sir. That's because it's one of my favorite
Oh,
games. It shot up to the top.
I'm
But
still
813-618-7099. We're still waiting for callers, Evan.
I'm still waiting for I kickstarted the deluxe version when it was re-released.
You're still waiting for your version
I'm still
to
waiting
come
for
in.
mine. I
Oh,
want
yeah.
mine.
And I'm happy for retail. I'm so happy. I'm happy with the retail.
Although, what do you think now that you've got this version of Ares Expedition versus the retail? Do you think it was worth the wait for the upgraded components?
I tell you what. Be honest with you, I was in Targets looking for a copy of it. I was just going to resell this one and keep the retail.
Really?
I'm finding that I'm just not all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
It feels like it's more work for me.
Just extra?
Right, and be honest, Robert, as little as we play games,
Yeah.
is that cost benefit really worth it?
No, as little as you play a lot of the games. You have
We play a lot of games.
Yeah, we try to play a lot of
A lot of
games.
games.
Yeah.
We just don't play them all a lot at the same time. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Evan Halbert, Portland, Oregon.
Hey, Evan.
Hey, how you going?
How are you? Hello there.
If you
Hey,
ask-
good,
if you
how
ask
are ya?
nicely, things will happen.
Yeah.
Hand me the box, Robert.
Got
Hand me the
game
box.
right here. Oh, he wants me to hand it to him. He's going to do a close-up on it now. So you call in, you get your game up there.
Man,
Right,
this is a fun
exactly.
game.
Yeah.
Talk to
Good, I'm
us.
glad you like it.
We're here. We want to talk to you. What do you got going
Well,
on?
I have about 3 minutes until I'm on duty for watching the baby while my wife gets ready for bed.
Okay,
so.
fair enough. It's almost 10 o'clock here Eastern, so that's normally when we're winding down the show. But
We won't interrupt. I got my fourth one coming this Monday.
yeah, Monday he's delivered number
Oh
4.
my gosh!
Yeah, so I feel your pain, brother. I feel
Oh
your
my
pain.
gosh! Congrats! Yeah, this is our one and only.
So what do you got for us in 3
my wife
minutes?
said, we're done. Are you excited for the expansion?
We are. Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah, I want to get everything.
Yeah.
Nights. I'm super
we got
stoked to
Knights
hear
coming
about
in.
Nights.
Oh yeah. We got some extra castle bits coming.
Sweet.
Oh, more castle bits.
More
Heck
bits is
yeah.
more fun.
I want more offense. I want more shooty offense.
He just wants to punch me in the
More
face.
shitty offense. Okay.
Yeah, I want like scorpions to
Okay,
shoot
all right.
down, to rain down onto the invaders.
All right.
Now,
all
what
right.
about more spaces on the board? Is that
we got something
coming?
like that.
Can we get some more spaces on the board? Because I have to say, this is one of the tightest worker placement
he's
games
very tight,
I've
yeah.
ever played. It's tight.
I don't
Too tight,
mind the
too
tight,
tight.
but Carlos isn't a fan of the super tight.
I
yeah?
thought his whole thing was like, I want more workers.
I do like more workers.
Well, we were playing around with more kind of new unique board spots because we were thinking about putting on a 5th player, but it turned out, nobody was really asking for that, so I don't think we really need to do that. So actually, we're going to keep it.
Okay.
We're going to keep it nice and tight. In fact, we're going to tighten it up a little further, so maybe you won't like that.
I don't mind that.
Oh man, that's gonna be a challenge.
But basically, we're gonna make it a little tougher to take some actions. Although we're gonna pump up the power of your
Units?
board actions.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So yeah, the power of your units with the knights.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully y'all like that.
Oh, we will. We just got to find more way to get stone. That seems to be one of the hardest resources.
And that's
to get.
on purpose. I'm sure that was planned. So
No, I want Corey dude to come out like for real
and to start just handing out stone.
Well, hey man, we've got the Corey dude. He was a promo.
We heard.
I'm just gonna buy that card when he comes out, just so you don't get it. I don't care if I lose.
No, Corey dude's great. In the new expansion, we at least currently, obviously we're still going through development with Grey Fox, but currently the need for iron has kind of jumped up just a little bit.
Okay.
So now you've kind of got a little bit tighter with, like
Wow.
stone isn't the end all be all. Now it's also iron. And then of course you need wood for just about everything else. So hopefully it's kind of tightening it up in all the right spots and making it more fun in all the right spots. And basically we're just trying to not make combat too much more complex for folks that already enjoy it.
Right.
Because it's already kind of on the breaking point for some people. So
Sure.
I don't get that piece, but I come from a miniature wargaming background, so to me, it's like it's part of what makes this game tick.
Yeah, he likes rulers and laser pointers.
But
and all that
I
kind of
joke
stuff.
about the tight worker placement board, but I really like that because it also adds that screw your neighbor
There's
feeling.
an element of tension. It's like you're sitting there. If you're the third up that round, you're sitting there thinking, "Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't." Oh, you went there.
Let's just say we can't film us playing it because of
It gets pretty rowdy.
It gets pretty rowdy here when we do things.
one of my favorite feedbacks is there's no player interaction.
No, there is.
What?
There's a lot.
Yeah, that worker placement is.
I'm like, well, A, number one, it's a Euro game, but B, number two, it's really tight, and you've got the gold track where you're messing other people up, making them take the leader surge, and doing all that kind of fun.
Oh yeah, we do
stuff,
plenty
so.
of that. Just spend just enough money so that you're one spot lower than the head guy. That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want to keep you too long. We want to thank you.
Sorry about that.
We want to thank you for calling in. Don't worry about the backgrounds. I got kids running around here all day.
Oh yeah.
It's how we game. That's the motto of our show.
guys.
It's how we game. But please call in again.
Guys, thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you very much.
We'd love to
Good
hear
night,
from you
Evan.
again. Have a good night.
All right, you guys have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
See, if you ask, I
Yeah,
asked.
ask and they
I
call.
asked, and here you go.
Tell me that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty
We'll
cool.
put this back on the shelf.
Well, so like I said, I can't wait for my version to come in.
You have a projected date? Have they told you when it's supposed to come?
No, I haven't checked recently. Been busy with work, so I
think they got some late pledge stuff going because I was looking at the upgrade kit. And I just can't convince myself to do it. Like the cubes work just fine.
You know what I'll do is I'll just bring that part over, or I'll just bring the whole box over, I guess, and we'll see. We'll compare it.
But you know what I was thinking about? Somebody posted a picture of Risk Europe. Hasbro.
Yeah.
And it's got a ton of little colored minis.
Pull them out. Yeah.
Right? Now,
think
some
I
are
heard
red,
that.
some are blue, some are yellow, some are purple. But as long as we all agree, for you, your reds are your soldiers, your blues are your mercenaries. Your yellows are your soldiers, and share some blue, because not everybody gets a lot of mercenaries.
Yeah.
There's some minis I can buy. I don't know. I can't. Oh, that upgrade kit is still calling me, though. I'm trying to stay away.
Yeah, and that's what
Folks, he's going to get it.
Dune
Don't worry about
Imperium
it.
is calling me on that way too. They're doing that upgrade, and it's like another $50. And I was like, oh man, the game was $50. I don't know if I want to spend $50 just to get some little minis, but the little cubes are fine with me. That's good.
But that's a discussion in itself.
Yeah,
If you think about it. Deluxe components. Do you want them? Do you need them?
does it matter?
It doesn't matter. To some folks, it does. To me, if I'm going to get a Kickstarter, I'm going to jump in. I'm one of the 3 guys here who doesn't have any children, so I can spend a little bit more money on,
Must be
the
nice.
extra stuff.
Yeah.
So, but if
We'll just play with your copy.
Yeah, we'll just borrow that. Yeah, play that.
You keep buying. Cause I'm going to buy the same games you have. I'm just going to buy the basic retail to have on my library shelf. You bring over your fancy copy, and we'll play that.
Yeah.
all right, I'll bring over Terraform Mars next time.
There you go. The big box.
We got to get that played.
big box.
So that's us. That was our call-in show for Thursday night. We're going to jump into offline, off-air, so this is going to end the show, but we're going to go record a podcast about what we've been playing this week and post it up this Sunday for y'all to watch. We posted a podcast last Sunday, kind of like a mega show almost.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of backlog stuff from June. I think this week will be a little lighter, but we've got a big game day this Saturday. So you can expect that next week's podcast that we record will probably have a lot of games to talk about, especially Who Goes There. I'm planning a game of Between Two Castles with the new expansion that Stonemeyer sent me.
I'm doing viticulture.
Rob's doing viticulture. So we got a lot of games to talk about on next week's podcast. We're going to record one tonight, put it up for you Sunday. Let us know what you think of the podcast. Thank you for those that called in today. Mitchell from Louisiana, Kyle from Chicago stepping up. That's amazing.
That was his first time.
And
Thank you,
published designer, Evan Halbert.
Evan Halbert.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Right? I mean, don't get better than this.
Yeah.
So thanks for calling. Thanks for watching. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm William.
And we're a podcast about
How we game.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Night.